Live from the district. 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 Live from the district.
We're back. Another edition of Live from the District. I am Easy Street, of course. This is season 2. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. You can see where we at, man. Smoke and Mirrors, AC Hotel, Washington, D.C. And I will just say this, okay? This next guest is a lady that I have a ton of respect for. She's super talented. She's a very giving and caring woman. She's super duper smart. And if you're in the business of minding your own business and you're trying to get some things going for yourself from a business standpoint in regards to government contracting, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you need to listen to everything that this lady is about to say. Give it up, y'all. Tasha Berry.
Thank you.
Hey, Tasha.
Hello.
How you doing, sis?
I'm good. Thank you again for having me.
Yeah, we've been knowing each other a long time.
Long time. I say about 20 years.
About 20 years?
Yeah.
Wow. We are keeping track. So, author, mother, grandmother, and entrepreneur.
And philanthropist.
Okay, you doing it all. What is this I'm holding in my hand right here?
This book here actually is my memoir. I self-published this book in 2018, and it was actually started as a letter to my son and daughter. While I was writing the book, I actually started going to counseling and journalizing. And from journalizing, I actually decided, you know what, let me go ahead and turn this into a book, because I was getting, I was healing from it, being motivated by it. So I created an ebook, actually went online, learned how to do an ebook, added it to Amazon. That was in 2018. And then in 2019, it was picked up by Morgan James Publishing out of New York to be published. So that was in 2019.
Okay, so if we went on Amazon and got this, Finding My Why, Forgiveness, but No Apology by Tasha Y. Berry, here it is right here. If we read this book, what would we learn?
You will learn my life story from the time I was 8, from 8 years old. I was born in Winchester, Virginia, educated and raised from Alexandria. I went to T.C. Williams High School in Alexandria. Titans, still a Titans. So it's my life story from the age of 8 to 38. So again, it's the good, the bad, the ugly, the truth. It's raw, it's real. It's from being an entrepreneur. I was predominantly in a predominantly white male industry in D.C. I owned a trucking and transportation business for over 20 years. Funny thing is, one of my major contracts is right up the street, Department of Transportation.
Okay.
I was a contractor there who put all the furniture, IT, into Department of Transportation, the Gaylord Hotel. I put all the furniture in the Gaylord Hotel. So it's just the ins and out of my life, and about it was self-healing.
Mm-hmm. So you said the good, the bad, and the ugly. We're going to ask you the same question that we asked with Davey Ruffin when he was on with us for Live in the District. Tell us about the good that's in this book.
The good is I learned about me. I forgave me. It was empowering. I learned how to do self-help, healing, not looking for anybody else to show me the way. I learned about a higher being, really went into my faith, didn't look for an apology for anybody. So it's more so healing.
Can I ask you a question about that?
Please.
What was your aha moment when you finally realized that everything that you needed when it was time to heal was just within you? Like it depended on you and not anybody else. What was the aha moment for you?
The aha moment was after I completed writing the book and doing the editing session.
Yeah.
Again, it started as a letter to my son and daughter.
Right.
I realized this book was for me.
Right.
It wasn't for anybody.
Yeah.
So that was like, wow.
So writing was a form of expressive therapy for you.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
And it's continued to this day.
What was the most challenging part of writing this book for you?
I was born with a rare genetic disease, birthmark, which was a hairy. So it was on my back. It started from the top of my shoulders down to my buttock. It completely covered my back. I didn't have summer times. I spent in junior high and elementary school, my times were spent in children's hospital. So I spoke about how those times in the hospital, how I felt. So in those times, my mother was a single mother. She worked 2 jobs. So a lot of that time, I spent a lot of time in the hospital alone. So at an early age, I felt being alone. I saw death because I was in the burn unit. I had cancerous cells, so I was roommates with a lot of individuals who was cancerous, who died from cancer. So writing, it's very graphic about what I felt in that, but writing that, I actually released it because I held on to it for so long.
Yeah. I don't think people understand like the beauty about healing is the trauma that comes along with it, because it's like you get stuck on holding on to that trauma for so long because it becomes so comfortable for you. But then once you realize that what it really is and how it shapes you, you learn how to let that stuff go, and that's like a really freeing moment, and then like you're supposed to use that to help other people, because it's not easy to overcome stuff like that. And the hardest thing for people to do is to look at themselves and take the accountability, because we're so quick to point the finger at everybody else, like, well, this is the reason why I act this way, and this happened to me, and that's why I can't do this. And then once you take all of that out and we're like, no, that's a circumstance, it's not who I am. It's beautiful.
I actually I changed the word for me. Trauma is triumph.
Yeah, I like that.
And so I don't see trauma because I've actually lived with trauma. I was born with a disease that I could have died from.
Right.
So I've already achieved that.
Yeah.
So there's nothing. I mean, literally nothing in this world I can't do.
Absolutely.
And also it's triumph for me.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love that.
So the title of the book, Finding My Why, Forgiveness But No Apology. Why did you use the word forgiveness? I'm just curious.
It started off again because I had to forgive myself. At first I was looking for, as you read it, it's in the contents, it's my relationship with my mother, my relationship with my father, my relationship with men, my relationship with my 2 children, my relationship with my children's father, being an entrepreneur. I was always looking for them to forgive me. And I didn't have to have that forgiveness. I had to forgive myself. So, it was forgiving myself, and I didn't need an apology.
Okay.
What exactly was it that you felt like they needed to forgive you about?
I felt, because we can start with my children.
Okay.
I was there, but I wasn't there. If anybody knows, as being an entrepreneur, I was in a dump trucking industry. I mean, literally every day, all day long. But I would actually be at my son and daughter's extracurricular activity or right there in their presence, but I wasn't present. So I was physically there.
Yeah.
As a parent, I think all of us can identify with that.
Yeah.
Because we're so consumed with making ends meet, providing and protecting. Sometimes we're not there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Is that what you...
Exactly. Dead on. It came with my father. My father, he passed away from COVID. And we...
Sorry for your loss.
Oh, no, thank you. I didn't meet him till I was 16 years old. So I held that, not having that relationship with him against him for not being present. But I had to, first of all, forgive him and let that go because he was struggling himself mentally, and he was a psychiatrist at St. Elizabeth Hospital. So I had to let that go with him. And then by letting that go, he missed out. He missed out on a great person. He missed out on, having a relationship with my son, my daughter, my grandson. So I let that go. When it came to my mother and all, I had to let that go because especially now in the present day, being a grandmother, I totally understand and get it. She was a single mother of 3 children. My brother passed away. He was epileptic. So she had those struggles. And then here I am, a daughter who spent most of her time in Children's Hospital. She was, again, single mother, working 2 jobs. So I now understand why I didn't get the same mother that I looked up to some of my other girlfriends.
Yeah.
I get it, So I had to forgive myself for judging her, but most important, I had to forgive her. And I work on that every day, all day long.
Mm-hmm. I think it's so interesting from a parent's standpoint that, like, we experience these things and we realize, I think when we get older and wiser, we realize that our parents did the best with what they had.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
I mean, and they can only give you what they got. They can't give us what they don't have in themselves. Is that what you felt the experience?
Exactly. They don't.
You kind of have to take yourself outside of being their child and look at them as a man and a woman that were trying to, like you said, handle things and navigate life the best way that they knew how.
Humanize them.
Yeah, you have to humanize them. I'm like, you know what? Okay, I get it. You know.
And I wanted to ask, the original book, when I wrote it, it actually had a blank page after each chapter. Because my goal was, after you read my chapter, for you to write whatever feelings you were feeling.
Yes.
And then you take that away and you create your own book.
Writing is so healing.
Yeah, so then I actually have a PowerPoint presentation. So if you have my book, you wrote those chapters, those individual sheets, I can show you how to write your own book.
Wow, amazing.
What
Amazing.
made you initially want to write the letter to your children? Like, what was going on with you at that moment when you were trying to write this letter?
Feeling guilty.
Okay.
I remember having a conversation with my daughter, and we were sitting on the bed, and I won't go into the detail.
Yeah.
But she opened up the conversation. Mama say these things to you, but I'm not looking for an apology. I just want you to listen.
Your daughter said that to you?
She said it to me.
Oh, really? How old? I'm just curious. Because usually
she was probably about 20. I think she was probably about 25.
Okay.
And I was like, wow.
Like, for her to say that to you at the age of 25 is...
It was deep.
Yeah, that's deep, because she had an understanding that there are times when we need to... There's a time to listen and there's a time to talk.
Yeah.
She understood that.
Yeah. And it was... Wow. And then I started seeing, by her saying, what she said, and I started seeing some of my ugly characters fall out in her.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa.
Oh, really? Like what? I'm just curious. You don't mind?
No. My parenting styles, her relationship with men, her relationship with her father, just a lot of, she's my only daughter.
Yeah.
So I knew she was a wonderful daughter, but then anytime something ugly or not to my disliking, I had to think about it. I was like, she gets it from me. Own it.
Yeah.
Own it.
So when she came to you about this, you actually listened to her. You weren't defensive in any
I
way.
wasn't defensive. And again, that's when I decided, I'm writing this book, I'm going to counseling.
Oh, really?
And I went to counseling because I was like, okay, I can't do this alone. I love the Lord, but I cannot do it. I said, let me go to counseling and process this the correct way, because I wanted to make sure that when they say generational curses
Absolutely.
and passing on, I was like, you know what? Okay, God.
Break every chain.
Yes. I was like, I got your message.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hey, Kaiser, you got when can I get in?
And being that curse breaker.
Yeah.
Every generation needs one. Yeah.
And this work every day.
Yeah.
But I'm conscious of it.
Well, that's where it all starts, the awareness.
Yeah.
Because if you are not aware of the problem, then you won't even take any steps to be able to fix it. That's a beautiful thing.
And that's where
so let's switch gears. You have a son, too.
I have a son. My son, he is a entrepreneur as well. He actually, going to be a father.
Oh.
In January. first father. He works at a a senior citizen building over in Largo. So he's
Okay.
an engineer. Both of my children have the spirit of entrepreneurship.
I wonder where that came from.
Right, I was say they get it from their mom.
The spirit of community. Our nonprofit is a family-owned business. So he does that. I'm very proud of him as well.
You told me an interesting story about your son when you came over to see Sosa.
Which piece of it? In regards to his life.
Yes.
My son Delane is a returning citizen. Mm-hmm. And as a returning citizen, like not majority young men that I've been around, he's had his time in incarceration in the city of Alexandria. He did 4 years. While he was there, I didn't pacify him. Mm-hmm. I wasn't the mother to go up there every weekend and, and make excuses for him. I wasn't the mother that, here's $30 here, here's $25 here, taking a call every call. He did a crime, which actually, through the grace of God, his time was lessened because he spoke up to the judge and he took personal responsibility for his crime. So while he was in there the whole time, we're from the city of Alexandria, so he didn't get a lot of support that I thought he would get. When you come home, you're not going to be this and you're not going to be this. Yeah. They didn't get the message who their mama was.
Let them know. You better let them know.
So when he came home, he actually, I had won the contract for the Gaylord Hotel and several other contracts. So he didn't come home looking for a job. He actually was a business owner.
Hit the ground running.
Of 2 companies.
Yeah.
What a blessing.
Yeah, of 2 companies. And he's excelled since then, which is also a great way, again, a testament. We actually, our nonprofit just was approved to do a pilot program in the city of Alexandria.
Congratulations.
To teach the second chance individuals to start a business.
Very good.
And he will be one of the
love
presenters
that.
there. So
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. If there's anything I can do to help that, let me know.
You on the list.
I'm on the list.
You on the list.
Hold 'em to it.
Yeah, you on the list. Our nonprofit is called Phoenix Reintegration Project, and Phoenix is rising from the ashes.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Phoenix is, of course, the burned with the ashes and came back to life and had that reincarnation and thrived.
It's about death and rebirth.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, hey, sometimes things got to break down before they can be built back up.
There
So
you
now,
go.
go ahead.
I actually, you know what? It's not sometime for me. I thank God for every time I was broken down to my knees because it was humbling.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as I come up and as I'm growing, I'm healing. I have those subtle, and them hard reminders of when I was down. So I don't want to be high every time. I thank God for my downfalls.
Yeah. You have to. You got to appreciate all of it.
All of it.
All that stuff goes hand in hand.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
So now let's get to this money real quick. People that tuned in, they went, okay, so can we get to this government contract? How did you get the, what was the steps that you took to be able to get the Gaylord contract and all these other contracts? Start at the beginning.
Yeah.
How do we get to this money from a government contracting standpoint?
In 2004, I was working for the Department of Justice as
DOJ.
DOJ as a paralegal, and I actually was working for on the case for I was in the immigration department. I was in immigration, but also was working on a case where the Department of Justice sued Philip Morris, the tobacco company. I didn't like what I was doing. Working in deportation, to sit there and be a paralegal and have to deport these families.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, if you know about they uplift, individuals from businesses, homes, and family. And then also the Philip Morris case, they knew it was cancerous. So the government's trying to take a stand. We didn't know, and
It's like, how do you not know?
yeah, so I decided to, and this gentleman told me, well, you'll only be a paralegal. And I quit my good government job. I was a GS-11, and I quit my good government job. I didn't know what I was going to do. But I did know about supply and demand. And from being paralegal, I knew about contracts. So I said, I'm going to start me a moving company. Why a moving company? Supply and demand. And also, it's something that I know that I could hire anybody. All you need to know is colors and numbers. And so I went into work temporary for office movers as a receptionist. And I, through the grace of God, I was actually in the government department. And I became a mole.
You was paying attention. You went.
Oh, that's how you do it, though.
Exactly.
That's how you do
I want
it.
you to stop right there because I don't think that people realize the importance of that move. I mean, and I'm not trying to tell you to go into the job marketplace to be trying to go in and get all this information so you can be able to start your own stuff and be able to make your own moves. But damn it, why not?
They say if you want to be a millionaire, you got to surround yourself by millionaires.
Yeah, why not go into, I don't want to say any brands. Why not, okay, you know what? Why not go into the Starbucks
Yeah.
and see how they make these drinks?
Yeah.
And see how they got everything set up. And look at how they got all this space, created in the music and how they treat their customers. And then own your own coffee shop. What's wrong with that?
Yeah.
Is there anything wrong with that?
None at all.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
If you want to manifest something into your life, you have to set your life up in a way where you start to be in those positions. You're starting to surround yourself with those things that's going to move you in that direction.
Yeah, I came in to be a competitor.
Yeah.
So that's what you did.
I became a
And
competitor.
that's what you are.
And that's when I became a competitor.
Okay, so that first government contract that you received.
The first government contract was SEC, Securities Exchange Commission. We actually had that first contract to move everybody from down over on the water side to these two buildings, phase 1 and 2. And we was hired as the third tier. We just need you to move boxes, and I knew a bunch of guys who were about to come home from incarceration. I knew the paralegal system, so I knew that each felon only need to be escorted by one person who can have an ID.
Right, that's me right there.
Yeah.
That's me with the ID, right, Bill?
Yeah. So I had easy and I had 5, but I would have 3 easy, so I got 15. So that's how I moved. So that became my thing. And as we was doing it, we said I had all the movers, guys who were coming home from incarcerations, my family, friends who, nephew, his stories in my newsletter. Every time you touch a box, learn something about it. I changed the phrase. This is not, this is not moving. This is logistics. So I taught them wordplay, DOT. When they gave us DOT, I said, okay, we about to suit it and boot it. We're doing something different. We're moving computers. Now every time you touch these computers, I need you to learn something about it.
Yeah.
We just not move them. So I wound up having 20 people over at Department of Transportation. I moved every IT piece of equipment over at DOT. And then, with Gaylord, they set me up to fail. They set me up to fail.
Why you say that?
Because they gave me dump trucks, they gave me site work. But everybody come home, first thing they'll do is jump in the truck.
Right.
So I became a broker. So I just started brokering trucks.
See, you don't let situations, you adapt to every single situation.
I was born into it, adapting.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That phrase.
Like a human chameleon.
Figure it out.
There you go.
Figure it out. You are a figure it out person like me. That's what I am. Like, whenever I run into an obstacle or something happens or I'm faced with a challenge.
Yeah.
Like recently, I'll tell you the story. So I go down, and I'm not going to say the theme park. I go to this theme park, right? They sent me down there with the with the media and all that, and then they went in there and they were like, okay, we got a hotel room for you. Okay, we're good. We're all set. My daughter wants to come. Her boyfriend wants to come. Okay, we're all going down there, right? And I notice how I'm not naming the place because I don't want to start no stuff. Well, we only got one room for you, sir. I go on the internet. Oh, I'll just get another room in the same hotel. The room was $8,000.
Wow.
Yes. The room was $8,000 for 4 days. I was like, wow, what am I going to do? You know what? real quick, within 15 minutes. This is what I'm going to do. You take the room. I'll stay offsite at another hotel for $70 a night. Now, most people freak out.
Yeah.
I'm going to call these people up.
Yeah.
How come I don't got 2 rooms?
Yeah.
Now you messing up a relationship.
Yeah.
But it's about the figure it out
Just
thing.
figure it
That I think that only certain people have those traits.
Yeah.
Am I wrong about that?
No.
You're actually right. And that's one of the reasons why I do what I do. That's why I'm a business coach. If he brings you to it, he's going to bring you through it.
Okay. Beautiful.
All right. So before we wrap up, tell us about your ebook.
I've created a 3-modular ebook.
Okay.
And it's to help, it's called Empowering Entrepreneurs, Resources for Federal Contracting.
Okay.
So it's 3 modulars with 110 pages and actually teaches you all the ins and outs of federal contracting.
Step by step.
Step by step. And in addition to that, I have 14 AI videos that are 5 minutes. And it's basically introduction.
See, that's the wave now, AI.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's so I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
And this is something somebody can subscribe to, pay the fee or whatever, and then get the key to be able to have this content, right? Is that how it works?
Yes, and I actually have a bundle deal for your viewers. Not only my
Oh, we got commercials now?
yeah.
We got commercials now?
Okay, because we're about empowering.
Sponsored by.
But for you, just for your viewers, actually, I have a bundle deal. My memoir, my ebook, and my videos. I'll give them. They're $45 for the bundle deal.
Okay.
So just
and you'll get that money back like that.
Exactly.
With one government contract.
Times 10.
Yeah, and actually, we take that monies actually go into my nonprofit.
Okay.
I like that.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Okay.
Awesome. Okay. Is it online? Is there a website?
Yes,
Give us all of that.
you can reach me online at tashaberry.net.
So this is the book right here, Finding My Why by Tasha Berry. Go to her website. She's got the ebook out there for business too. I want to thank you for coming by. Thank you for
Thank
being on the
you.
show. Appreciate it.
I appreciate you. For having me.
And before we wrap up, I want to remind you, of course, Live in the District is also streaming now on XM Sirius Radio. Want to shout out to our nationwide audience out there watching and listening on XM Radio as well. And special thanks to our good friends from Smoke and Mirrors here at Washington, D.C. AC Hotel. It's an amazing spot. We want to thank them for having us. And we will see you next time on another edition of Live from the District. Peace.